There's so many elements that are coming together for this video. This is my favorite map. Let's do this. I'll take the time to explain a lot of other stuff later, but for now we got some action already. There's a player up here who took a lot of shots, and yes, I am using a drum barrel. Thank you. After reloading and trying to take out the scav to quiet him down, I noticed another player climbing the ladder to the right. He doesn't go down much more difficult. The weird gunshot was a MP9 and the other had an SKS. Recently, a looting update had come out, and I love Island for the looting aspect, so there's a lot of times where, thankfully, I am just looting and will often skip over it. This video is an hour long. Do you want to see everything? While looting, I heard some very geared footsteps outside, so I grabbed my rifle and went over to this little pocket to take a peek, and surely enough, there are some very geared players. I took my time and waited for a perfect moment to strike and took out his buddy in the back before trying to light him up. I think I did a good job because he's about to heal, but I didn't want to chance it with that barrette in his hands. My best course of action, I knew, was not to play it back and forth, but rather flank him and get the advantage. Goofy, get out of here. No, this is not a place to be having fun. No. As I was saying, flanking was probably my best bet, so I did my best to try and just get around. And when I heard him start healing a second time, I knew it was pretty much now or never. Time to strike. Okay, go, 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 go. Get out of the open. Go, 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 go. When I first started playing Tabor, I went the entire version 9 wipe just playing Island, so I'm pretty knowledgeable about how to play. And one thing you'll know not to do is to stay out in the open because it'll get you killed. Hence is why I got those two players pretty quick. To whittle down anybody's patience out there, I just started to ammo swap, setting all of this stuff back and forth into a magazine to top it off and to whittle down the enemy's patience. Just to skip over all of the looting that I'm about to do, I got a barrette, 2 sets of Mamba gear, an AWM, and a FAL with some AP rounds in it. Pretty good, especially what's about to happen. Island, despite the title card not showing it, has 24 players now, 2 of which decided to storm up onto this building afterward and decided to come after me. AP rounds make good use of the first guy, while the other, well, he tries to flank around, and while I wanted to be creative, I decided to jump down to try and pincer him. He ran inside. What a move. I heard him healing inside this room, and this is going to be a standoff. That's going to be so fun. This was a lot of loot on the line, so I wanted to be absolutely certain that if I was about to engage with this guy, I was prepped, so I decided to go through everything. And once I had and realized he wasn't going to move out, I decided to just be smart, open the door outward, and just do a nice clean sweep. He was hiding not in the corner, funnily enough, and after, well, nice. Good shot. Shout out to my man, he played the best he could without landing any headshots. Gave me even more gear too. If you're surprised I did this good on Raid 1, fun fact, this is not Raid 1. This is like Raid 84 or something. I ran into some video problems because the file sizes of Island were just that big, so the original Raid 1 got deleted somehow. 7 kills all shown, but yeah, I just imagine I had like maybe 20 or so extra raids that weren't recorded. Long video. You gonna judge me? No, you're not. Raid 2 sees the start of a cycle that you're going to see a lot in this earlier section of the video where I go to facility, and that's kind of where I stay. I mean, with the update, the loot is not terrific, I mean, AK Alpha, but it's passable enough for me to stay here consistently. Even after the update that changed how the map is designed, positions like this are still critical, and it lets me take out a good couple of people like these 2 guys here. Well, only one, because the other escaped. And I really wish I didn't let him escape because 4 striker grips and some mediocre helmets are not really something I consider good. I like messing with the charging handles because of how crunchy these sound with headphones. I will almost never wear anything except headphones. I decided to bring an SMG into the next raid. Ooh man, good thing for these drum mags. Don't adjust your audio, know that actually is me talking in raid. I streamed a good bit of these raids on Island because Island raids are long. An average Island raid goes around 30 to 25 minutes. That's a long time if you do that 100 times. Extracted out of that raid and into the next one, I found a player inside of labs. I don't have great rules of engagement, so we traded. I'll often lower the audio when I'm talking just to make what I currently say better. One of the better elements of recording my audio is that I can then commentate about what I was saying. Here I'm talking about keycards not spawning in crates anymore and how I think they should add it back. I will use the actual video recorded audio frequently, but just note that it's usually better if I just record a voiceover like here. By the way, this video is an hour long. Don't expect me to commentate every kill or thing that happens. I do think that would be cool, but like, it wouldn't be, like, if I had choice, I would not add that gun. The Defender 45 is functionally identical to the M1911 and would have no reason to be added into the game other than a visual change. I extract a lot in this video. Don't expect me to say I extract every single time. I real quick want to put the G3 on blast. I know I'm using it, but that's because it's meta. Big calipers just shredding through people, it's always super annoying to lose kit to it. As I get tagged by a sniper, I literally will lose an Alton to 2 G3 shots later on. This wasn't an ordinary kitted player, this was the boss of the map, Bomba. The footage here is cut up a bunch because it's very boring. I stand up, I shoot some rounds, and I get back to cover because I've been shot and need to heal or else I'll die in another shot. It's Mamba gameplay. After he got properly aggroed onto me and just decided to run up to me, it was pretty quickly over. Oh, and if you need any reason at all as to why headphones are better, I hear someone coming up here. It's just a scav, but you can see how strong that can be. What I always find annoying about the Mamba kit is that he usually spends all of his magazines, so you just wound up with the only magazine that's loaded in the gun. And I have Spectre 5 by the end of this video, so it's not like I need that rifle. You already know that Marcus is going to be here as well, and he also really likes those island raids. So much so that he was wanting to play with a very broken headset, as you can see here. He was struggling. We both play connected to our computers, and his cord that was connected to his computer was damaged beyond repair, causing his headset to stutter, black screen, tear. It was a nightmare for him, and I was surprised he was even still playing. He ordered a new cord, and it would arrive after some time, and in that time I managed to edit a good bit of this video because I ran out of storage. That's right, island raids are so long I managed to run out of storage from recording so many of these raids. Props to Marcus as well because he hit one of those long shots with an MP7 and a very simple red dot. It's also pretty easy to see a pattern whenever I play with Marcus where he'll go down or I'll go down to kind of someone that can just easily get mopped up afterwards, like that man with an AK-74 and pretty much nothing to live for. Marcus had died on a raid I didn't record, and I had to bring his weapon out already, and so I was trying to do that again, but I was getting a little greedy for this guy's loot. Especially once I heard him prick himself with a syringe, I just did my best to push, and yeah, I don't know why I tried shooting the wall there, man. It was a little embarrassing. And now you get to watch it happen all over again, because welcome to Island, that's just how rough it is. There's a trio in here, and first guy goes down. Marcus was flanking around as the second guy goes down, and I need to heal. Marcus hit the dirt when he went into that little entrance, and one little shot here was all it took for him to get out of cover before he starts getting a little squirmy, and well, cover is everything on Island, so you can kind of see what happens next. I had a long and oh so lovely standoff with a guy at the end. I knew he was geared because I could see the purple Ronin eyes, so I just wanted to be very careful. You can see him pop out on the left, and by the time I see him, it's too late. At the facility the next raid, this guy and his buddy you'll see perish shortly after were causing a lot of noise walking around on the roof of the facility. They only had rifles, which made it make sense when this guy moved in and killed me. Marcus killed them, though. You've seen this image before, right? So I don't really have to commentate that it's just two more guys running through a forest out in the open. Me and Marcus moved up, and I gotta say, that looks like some pretty promising gear right there. With my headphones, I was hearing some guy shimmy around over this rock, and my accuracy was just pretty piss poor. Marcus did not fare better. I would like to take this time to apologize for you guys not being able to see out of my scope eye. It definitely leads to some hindrances, and that's how the recording is. I mean, it's either that, or it's how some of those Chodov Mall raids were with how badly laggy they were. You don't want that. After that roof encounter earlier, I came to my senses and just decided to lay down on the trigger, regardless of if it was Marcus or not. Played in my favor, I would definitely say. And it's not just the once. Here's another guy. I don't care if he's Marcus, he's getting mowed down because he should have told me where he is. Marcus then perished on a hill due to this sniper. Well, he wasn't on the hill, but the sniper was on this hill, and I had a scope, so I wanted to challenge him. He'd been jumping around a good bit before, and even though I take some shots, at the end of the day, challenging a sniper. I do not like how rare airdrops spawn, so when I see this, I just decide to say, screw it, we might as well go to it. I didn't see what it had aside from those two, but I knew I was going to end up getting shot, and sure enough. No. I definitely made it out safe and sound that exact same raid because, yes, I killed everybody. Yes. First thing I did in raid 15 was scope out these two guys. I don't know at any point when they saw me, but at some point when I tried to retreat, they started to get a little more feisty and pursue me. Without a scope, it was anyone's game, and I really wasn't feeling confident in myself. Marcus, if he was here, would have just told me to believe in myself. Or he would have just said something random like green. And I, unfortunately for this raid, was not green, because I decided to get out in the open, and you all know how that's going to end. With this map, cover and positioning is a lot, which is probably why I love it so much. I mean, here, look at these guys. They don't really know where I am, and so when I blast him, he goes down. His buddy, right beneath me, thinks I was around the corner and not above him. And so, after I pour 10 shots into the concrete here, I adjust and eventually kill him. I'll likely give a bunker tour shortly after this video, just because I'm sure you're all wondering after all of these raids, and the ones I don't record, of how my vault looks. Marcus had also reminded me that, at least at the time of recording, you can stuff keycards into your little butt box, as I call it, the Delta Secure container. And boy does it help, let me tell ya. When I look back at a lot of these audio recordings, I've noticed I've been a bit negative Nancy, so let's talk about a positive with the G3. 2 shots to the body with pretty much no armor. These guys go down without incident. Go figure, if people without armor go down quick, people with armor go down not much slower. The 2 guys from earlier had a trio with them, so I heard him coming up and G3 moment, man, I don't know what to tell you. My body then screamed at me to use the bathroom, and while I did so, I'd like to take this time to place a bet. I bet you can't figure out where I'm hiding in this clip. You won't win anything if you win that bet, but let's just skip to me saying that it was a cool raid other than that, and I just used orange car to get out. There was nothing cool that went on, okay? The Commando, or the SG-552 as the game likes to call it, is one of my favorite guns, not because it's good, just because it's fun. You stop having fun when you get to a certain point in this game, so just using lower tier weapons like this, it's nice and entertaining. Aside from our gimmick jump scare, going back to my original point, yeah, once you hit a certain point, you just bring a heavy calibered gun and a silencer. That's not fun, there's no cool sounds. Go and bring a cool and fun gun that you like. You're not gonna regret it, trust me. Wow. What a great spawn. Church, prison, graveyard, all of it so good. Good thing I don't have to think because we have facility right here. The funny part is that's not the mentality I always have, it's how long I have that mentality. This guy had hardly any armor, but going back, yeah, I have that mentality to the point where in raid I was thinking I was bored. And look, I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't rewarding. Like, I'm just standing here chilling, some guys just waltz right into facility, and his buddy retreats, so we just take a nade that the other guy had. Tick-tock, goes the clock, bang, and you might have not heard it, but he had death play noise. Absolutely kidded, I just left, but then started to get shot at. Thankfully, whoever I did kill had AP in these things. It was enough to ward off whoever was starting to shoot at me, and I got away. Had to always keep checking my back though, because you never know when someone's just gonna keep tailing me. Thankfully, he didn't. By the way, that sped up looting could have been 4.5 minutes. Alrighty, you may have noticed that we're a little off schedule, so let's pick up the pace, shall we? I have a lot of endless gripes to talk about with the new looting, but one thing I will give credit to, there are a lot of rare guns. So much so, I found another stoner drum mag maybe 2 minutes later. And, well, let's be honest, I would take the new looting system if it meant I had these new headphones. They're really nice to hear people. It's island, so you know we're gonna go to facility, and we're gonna catch a guy off guard on this little perch. While going through his bag, I could hear some footsteps nearby, and suddenly I start to freak out, try and get my stuff situated and get my gun up. Thanks to these brand new headphones, I could hear him really close to me, so I was thinking, he's under these perches. Well, he was, just a lot closer than I thought he would be. More example of the headphones, I could hear someone, and I absolutely would have just walked right past this guy if I didn't hear him. Nice. He has some good stuff on him, too. Fully modded AK Alpha, Vest 6B102, yes I do memorize the names, C13 helmet, and miscellaneous from there. Why bother sticking around? I had some good stuff. Bit of an odd spawn, but the boss was right next to me, so I kinda just waited until an opportune moment to whip around and fill his head with lead. I took his gear from beyond that and made my way elsewhere. Not all things go according to plan, though. Despite me horrifically whiffing that shot, I was thinking, oh man, this rifle will surely take him down, and after a long gunfight, it did not. Let's cut to the chase for number 22. Fighting some guys on a hill, one had a Barrette. You can see why I was quick to die. Man. Approximately 70 meters, poorly geared. Oh, yeah, that's, oof. Sorry about that, buddy. Yikes. Was minding my own business and then started to get pelted from literally the next hill over, so I just whipped out my AR and he's dead. I don't know it, but I decided to put my AP that I found somewhere to good use. He's dead. My man must have had a death wish thinking that no helmet and an L85 rifle was really gonna cut it against me. Nothing more to say, add one to the extraction counter. There's a lot of things I'm mixed about on the forestry work, but one thing I like is this new woodsy combat. Before it'd just be people trying to dive in and out of trees, jump scaring each other and whatnot, but now, oh, dude, this is me chasing this guy, and him chasing me all the same. Back and forth, really how it ought to be. Unfortunately, despite my victory, someone casted armor-piercing 338 MB from a long distance. Or close, I guess. See, this raid's a little funny. Heard some gunshots out front, and look, there's another man running out in the open. Do you want to guess what's going to happen to him? That's right. He folds into a corpse. If you rewind back to raid number 19, you're about to literally witness the exact same thing. A duo making their way around. One goes down to gunshots, and I can hear the other over this railing. This time I had a impact grenade, and well, let's just say there was hardly any change. Oh, I guess that was an impact. Oh well, he's still dead. After stashing the equipment away, I decided to push on over to the new gear. About to take some shots at a scav, then I heard a footstep. This is not gonna go well. Remember folks, the element of surprise is all you need, and despite this man having a 6B43, the flak jacket, he got headshot right here. And holy moly, now I'm not fearing for my life. I'm wondering how I get all this stuff out of here. I tossed his bag, the bag he was holding, and the bag of the guy I killed earlier right into this little corner and got sorting. And let me tell you, after a very long time of just sitting here and picking out what I like and don't like, it made me worried when I all of a sudden start to get a move on, and I'm moving extremely slow. Nice gun, too. Because now I gotta get this, and what I already have, into an exfil. You already know what time it is. Hopefully the darkness didn't give anybody a headache. It's always a worry I have. Here's a photo of all the gear after. It was pretty substantial. My stats got pretty scuffed by the end of the video, so one thing that you're definitely going to look forward to is how many of these rubber duckies I've managed to stockpile up. Like, dude, at the time of recording, I have 40 out of 48 GPUs. That's an immense amount, so obviously I'm going to play some extra raids here and there. I really felt like I aimed better than this guy, but drum mag, I guess. Drum mag in prison? No, never. How could it be? Heard a man hiding in this corner over here, so I did my best to track him, witness him, and flick pretty hard. Oh, okay, I guess he has a buddy. Well, they're gone now. Here's a funny little bug for you all. Finished getting that scav, then I tried to reload, and then realized there's 2 magazines. I don't know how that could happen, but one is empty, one's loaded. Nice. Gunshots at facility, and I made my... Oh, wait. Footsteps. Oh, there he is. Do I get closer? Do I just line up the okay. Alright, well, easy as that. I should have known, though, that there's always bigger fish on the field. Always. I haven't done many naked raids, and this is the first one. It's pretty nice, too, because I found this piece of machinery right here in my hands. Alright, I'll just sum up this raid pretty quick. There's 3 guys hiding in there that I only get to know that there are 3 guys hiding because of voice chat. They're gonna then shout some slurs that I obviously can't put in the video, so let's just cut to extraction. Wow, what a fantastic raid. If you're wondering, no, I did not kill them. I just had my machine gun and I was happy enough at that. First, sniper mission. Gotta say, I like the snipers in this game, and this is the map to do it. Killed 1 person out of a trio. They had unbelievably good stuff, like this better headphone and a bag packed to the brim with even more sniping equipment. Fantastic. Fair word of warning though, always be on the lookout for bigger fish. And let me tell you, sniping's fun, not optimal. And you know what? Spectre 5 makes a person not be optimal. Like at this point, yeah, I can rock an AK-74. I have every piece of equipment and rebuyable too. Yes, I can go in with a Barrette, a AK Alpha, a FAL. That's not fun after so long, and it's nice to just do some low-tier raids.
Oh my gosh, I clicked. Oh my gosh, not again. Did not end well for him.
Whew, bit chaotic there. We got out with a good bit of loot. Doubling back to the point I was talking about, yes, there are several instances in which using a different gun would absolutely be notable. That's an HK I was using, and a FAL would have mopped him up. That and plus, at the end of this video, I would have so many guns, they would literally be full on my shelves. We're talking like 20 to 30 guns on just some storage rack randomly. So don't go getting super upset when I'm deciding to use an M4 and a drum mag that's not fully modded to the best it can possibly be. The man we had slain a moment ago had some AP rounds loaded in this G3, and I saw some players up ahead. I am going to end up pulling out of the engagement because I am going to see him pop through this doorway right now, and I'm going to think, oh, he has Tatra gear. He doesn't if you slow the clip down, but I don't really want to chance it. It would be a death sentence if I tried to take off towards some random extraction in the far distance, and when they tried to push up onto orange, I did my best to just kind of shoo him away. Fresh into the next raid, got a few kills, and started to do some mag organizing. I also didn't take my schizo med, so I all of a sudden whipped the gun up. In both of these clips, it's a one player, but I was hesitant the first time thinking it was just a scav being silly. Got my ammo sorted, and then I tried to take off this player in a distance. Extractions were opened, and I knew he probably had some good stuff. I don't end up killing him. I think I definitely gave myself away, but he just really wanted to try and get to the extraction, it seemed. And look, I don't blame him, dude. One of my goals I want to set for myself for this video was extract at least 1/3 of the time. And I'm sure it doesn't take an Einstein to see that by the fact that we're already halfway through to that goal and we're only 1/3 of the way through the raids, we're probably on schedule to get there. The only other goal I really set for myself was to try and kill the boss, which, let's be honest, that was going to happen and it's already been done. Unfortunately, we're going to have a bitter end to this raid. Despite me getting a lot of good equipment, there's a guy with an AWM who was doing his best to just take some nice shots at me. I should have taken notice, and I was thinking he had some stronger gun behind that rock, but... ugh.
I'm fucked. Come on, please die. Thank you. Holy shit. He was not ready for me. Woo! Okay, we got a lot to go through now.
This was only the start of my troubles, though. This was going to be a trio, and this guy was waiting out for me. Thankfully he went down, but the other guy, well, the other guy. The problem I always have for island raids, like you see here, is that I just push out of cover unnecessarily. Sometimes it works in my favor, but it rarely does, costing me a lot of gear here. This summarizes raid 36 just pretty well. I realistically should have just not had tracers loaded, but ugh. Despite it clearly being on the screen several times prior to.
Flight recorder, I need these.
I needed this for a task, and I had not found one or be able to find any sort of guide to tell me where one is for a very, very long time. Jiri wanted it for a task, and I have not been able to find one, so I just dumped it there since I didn't want anybody to find it, nor do I want to lug it around everywhere I go. Then while I was doing my best to make my way back, I,
found him. Yeah, he was not going to win that. Yeah, I saw he had no armor.
And that's not even the best part.
You bastard!
My guess is the guy had followed me from somewhere nearby and saw that I dumped it down, then grabbed it. Yes, I did check where I threw it a moment ago, so it definitely was someone who had followed or seen where I'd tossed it. I've been running around running and gunning for quite some time to this point of the raid, and look, there's a certain level of awareness you have to always have when you play this map. Let me put it in full display.
Yeah, he's not firing at me. That's a problem. That means there's probably going to be like a guy up on that hill who's going to jump out at me. There he is. Yep. Fuck.
If you rewatch, there will be a muzzle flash exactly where I point out. Making these videos is not exactly an easy process. This is a very weird
subject all of a sudden changed as I take out a boss by spraying into a tree, noted by all those bullet marks. But let me try and describe it. What you're about to watch is about a 45-minute raid. I got holed up inside of the radio station by 3 very kitted guys and had very little to go. Now, these fellas would take their time to show up, but that didn't mean that any other people decided to not show up in the meantime. You could barely see a guy peeking out over there, but the point stands, I got barricaded for a long time. And, not to mention the fact that if we're getting to a point where ammo is a concern, you know it's a long holdout. I did kill one of them, but their buddies got the gear and took off with it. I'm a little happy I didn't go out and grab it. I just wanted to investigate at this point, but yeah. The gear I'm looking at is another player that I've killed. I knew they had some rifle rounds, and I could definitely use them at this point in the raid. So how does this tie into my original point? Well, it's raids like these that discourage me from editing. Raids like these I have to constantly go through and trim to just find moments that are different enough for me to just sit through and clip. Might not sound too bad, but if we're talking about every raid being 30 minutes, that times 100, that's 3,000 minutes. If you do the math, 50 hours. Oh wow, you might say, that's a lot to go through, and you have no idea. It's the #1 reason that these videos take so long is because I don't like going through all the footage. It was easy on Chodov Mall when the average raid was about 5 minutes. Matka Miesta, well, wasn't much change, but Island? Short raids would be 5 minutes. Long raids? 50. But trimming isn't the only thing I gotta do. I have to find moments that are of interest. This raid, I've just been skimming through, and I'm kind of satisfied with the POIs of video editing that I found, but even still, ugh. I felt pretty happy because I managed to storm the weather, but all the same, it was, well, you can hear by my audio, it was a gruesome time.
Alright, let's look at the official kill.
We start off raid 40 by getting 1 kill. Don't mind the tracer rounds, I was running out of ammo. And wrapped it up shortly after by getting shot in the back by about 50 meters or so. Raid 41 was the first instance I decided, you know what, I'm Spectre 5, I might as well start using some higher end gear. It led to me being kind of cocky and getting hammered from several different angles. Also, can we please nerf scavs? That was a scav death. Marcus is back to help us count to 3. 1 was the stoner drum mag that I gave him. 2 for him dying to the fish cult, not me though. And 3 for making him wait an absurd amount of time until after I extracted. Whoopee. In Raid 43 we started off by noticing some players running into the lighthouse up here. We realistically knew that was not going to be a very fun or good fight to try and push, so we just bailed. That was until they started to push up on Marcus. They waited for us to leave before grabbing some locker loot and definitely gave Marcus a run for his money. He trooped it out though. Before I even managed to get there, he managed to kill both of... hold on one second. Okay, as I was saying, before I even managed to get there, he managed to kill both of them, which, good on him, man. Our man who was overstepping had some pretty phenomenal loot for whatever he was trying to do. Alright, nice little bit of gear. We took it inside of the radio station and had a little back and forth with equipment, checking our stats and exchanging medicine, stuff like that. Marcus also wanted a lot of these pulse ox meters that came with the new update. They're a good bit of worth of money, and they're pretty easy to collect. Fast forwarding to extraction, he handed over his GPU that he found in one of the lab crates, and well, I just started forking over all of the oximeters, man. In his words, he didn't play the game nearly as much as me, so he decided, why not, give him the GPU. He made out with like 20 plus oximeters, that's like 50k. Spawning from ground 0, we made our way to the factory in 44. Marcus knew there was a guy around and opened fire. Marcus then informed me that he died, so I doubled back to try and kill him. What I don't like about playing with Marcus is that if he dies, not by skill issue, just, you know, the game, I feel guilty having to play the rest of the raid without him. Alright, let's take that pace down a little. I got a good sniper raid ahead of us, let's do this. First guy is going to be right up here. Might barely notice him. Down he goes. After checking the radio station, there were 2 guys on the roof. They had spotted me and, well, they were definitely testing the sight line. Unfortunately for them, I was very good at playing this game. Look, it's fine to be cocky every now and then, so long as you don't make it a personality. Like, you mean to tell me I'm bad at the game after just whipping around and smiting this poor man? Sure, go ahead. After clearing scavs to hear better, he was in this tiny divot. You might have hardly even seen it, but yeah, he was hiding really well. I shot him to death, and quick side tangent, you might not know how fast I climb these ladders. Well, Old Island definitely needed you to climb the ladders. If you didn't, oh, I dropped my bag, dang it. I'll get back to that point in a second, but for now, here's why you carry a backup gun. Some man was trying to steal my kills. That's not cool. The Old Island had a hill that I called Death Hill. It was essentially where old radio was. You'd have to sprint down, and it was the biggest sightline in the game. You would die really easily. Ergo, because it was a giant sightline from there as well, you had to be really quick to climb that ladder unless you wanted to get abysmally shot at. And trust me, I got good at climbing ladders. Is New Island better? I'm not fully certain, but what I am certain of is that there's somebody up on this roof. And, this is going to be a problem. 2.5 minutes of waiting later, I decide to breach the roof and check out for them. Make sure, whoever is up here is going to no longer be up here. I had my suspicions, and now confirmations, that it was a duo. I felt like that was not a great position, so I fell back. I know this map pretty dang well, and I know how labs work, so I start all of a sudden hearing him go from metal to solid. Oh, yeah, okay, come on, buddy. After an abysmal amount of searching, because I don't think he went down, I did manage to find him in a really weird space. Oh, that could have gone much worse. You know, I'm not certain if they were a duo, but definitely got some more gear from here. That's really cool. Not finished yet. Don't know if you can see him, but right next to that tree up there, there was another guy. He used the Smith scope that one of those guys dropped to try and get some shots off. Best way to get the advantage on someone is to shift up where you're shooting from. You move up onto the roof, they'll have no idea. I'm pretty sure I hit him with that shot, but it was so far and he was so small, even I couldn't tell. False alarm, there's actually 2 people up there, and one of them's still running around. This is the instance that I do finally perish him. You can actually see him topple over. Barely, but you can. Weirdly enough, I found this kit over here. He either died by bleeding or some other sniper, but sure, you know what? Extra bag, why not? This absolutely was one of those 45-minute raids because I had to fork it all the way, well, halfway across the map. You're welcome for not showing all the looting because that can easily get a little abysmal.
Use a FAL. I have like 4 of them in a bunker, but I never use them. It's because of gear fear. I don't blame you, dude. He might have had a buddy. His mic was hot. That was the only reason I heard him. Yep. Nice! What a kill! I am so good at this game. Now watch, as I will miraculously die from someone I do not see.
Sorry for the snarky glow, but I did not in fact die to someone else in that raid.
Raid 48 had me die pretty quick and easy to man. Raid 49 took a while, but I did not die to anybody. Raid 50 went the exact same as 49, just a different extraction point.
That was an SKS guy, and with a 5V, like with my current vest, he just did 60% of my health.
I think that's the 3rd time I've crashed out about scav damage, but let's get to the chase. There's a player walking around below me, and he, well...
Hey, buddy.
Don't ask me why, this raid has been absurdly long, but I had decided to go down to worker camp, grab this purple key card over there, and then make it all the way over to the vault. Cool, I guess. I sped it up just because the new vaults are really bad. The loot, while not random like the rest of the map, is just terrible. I even said it myself in this clip, but I muted it. Let's keep moving along. No, you don't want to really watch that. Yep, got the extraction. A bit of the way into Raid 42, I saw this player running through the forest. I decided to just leave him be, let him have his fun. What's the point? I'm not going to see him again. I know that.
Let's see here.
That, plus I had this quest where I couldn't really kill that many enemies. I knew there's a good chance the extraction would open up right there at that little dock area, so I just sat and waited for the rest of the raid. No, really, I promise that is exactly what I did until this extraction opened. In Raid 43, there was a man up on a hill. I'll let the clip play out, and I dare you to find him.
That's a player. Fuck, I saw. Damn it. He hit me with AP too, which is what makes it even worse.
In Raid 54, I had a grueling fight long range with some other players. I was putting down some good shots with the tap go, but it wasn't enough. In Raid 55, I wanted to try and do sniping, and I've moved around a lot until this player...
That's bullshit. We traded?
Excuse my crash out if you will, but it's a lot of gear I lose compared to some guy who just managed to grab an SKS.
Meaning when you hear that's in the video, or what you guys hear, that's like 5% of what I hear. Which when then people are like, dude, you maybe like increase your mic volume below. There are times where like my mic genuinely just is not working. But there are a lot of times where it's just like, dude, literally you have a volume button. Please press up on it.
The rest of the raid was very boring, so let's just cut to my death. Alrighty, let's blast through them quickly. Geared guy versus geared guy, I'm not the one to win. Especially with that sight, man. What am I doing?
Yep.
Brought back the alpha for Raid 58. Got a player who kind of just gave up.
Why am I on semi again?
Died previously to having it on semi, but then I decided to swoop in on this guy. Thought he could be sneaky. He could not.
Buddy. Dude, that guy had no chance.
Then had a pleasant little walk to the exfil. I did not like how Raid 59 went. Let's move on. Context for Raid 60, I've been chasing a man down to this boathouse for quite some while. We had a little bit of a standoff, and at this point I had gotten fed up with him and his buddy just holding out. Bringing out the massive amount of weaponry for Raid 61. First and not the last time you'll see the Barrette. It got pretty far into the raid and I couldn't find anybody, so I was just under the impression that they all had left. These fish guys are also ridiculous. Like, you hear him firing that, and it takes 2 shots with the Barrettes to finish him off. But when I did find a guy, oh, all bets are off. I'll have to point out where he is specifically. He's right at those close sandbags.
Oh, he's done. That must have made... He must have... Dude, he must have passed away when I shot him.
From there, I looted him. I think I hit the vault, and I just ran away. Same spot sniping the next raid, and then got jumped by this guy. Thankfully, he didn't have any weaponry, so he went down quick. And then while trying to look around for some more enemies, I kind of stepped a little too far on my boundary. I am not devastated by deaths like those. I can buy everything back, and for the next raid I decided to tone it down a little to use some AP AWM. I just wish I would stop grabbing my backpack when I would rack the bolt. I was rather certain that he was also going to try and snipe, and after finding him on the side there I realized, oh, he's going to fire. I missed the first shot, scoot, let him ring out his weapon, and we take him out. You kind of have to decide at a certain point whether or not to just use the loot as bait, and his buddy, yes, his actual buddy, came on creeping along afterward. The first guy I killed had a backpack, but other than that their kit is pretty much identical. Vest 6Bs 102 and a chromatic barrette. Pretty good. In addition to an HK, I wanted to leave with those 2 chromatic barrettes. Let's skip along over Raid 64. I wasn't doing too great. I tried my hand at the Drogna for the next raid. He had a buddy down by the coast and communicated to him, so I bit the dirt pretty fast. I asked someone what I should bring to the next raid. Don't do that. Also, are we serious? 2 G3 shots to the head. Can't even confirm if the first one hit. 67 shows what I was talking about earlier with the cover. 68 had me bring in an ACOG. Marcus always tells me that I wants them, but I don't see the hype. Especially when a man with a G3 shows up and gives me a run for my money, which has me eating the dirt. I was getting pretty sick and tired of dying now, so I brought a bigger caliber weapon, and I'm happy enough that I got at least one of these guys. The other, well, he dealt with me pretty quick. And then this really funny thing happened on Raid 70. Was going about ready to start off raid with an AK Alpha, and we're on to the next one, because apparently my, yeah, we're also going right to Vault. I ran out of storage at the time and had to move a bunch of files around. It did just cut my raid early, but I promise you I died very late in the raid, and I was not happy. I'll just say that this raid was rather boring if I managed to hit a vault. Also, this was an asphalt, dude. Like, we literally had the main loot as handguns. That's miserable. Raid 72, and I was facing off against a duo who had long-range weapons. I probably should have kept focusing the guy with the actual long-range rifle, because the second I was done with the guy who wasn't... Hosed down some targets next raid, got the first guy, and then the other guy put some nice jukes out. Nice. Raid 74 had a player inside who was expecting me, and because I heard him, it was not very much of a contest. Why bring the heavy vest? Come on, man.
I don't know where I got it from, but then I have this AWM that I guess I brought and was trying to hit some people at that precipice in the far distance. I was unsuccessful, so I moved on over to the extraction, wary of if anybody was going to shoot at me. 75 at a man coming up the stairwell, was waiting very patiently for him to see where he would come from. Oh, no. Thank goodness that didn't look too bad. That was the last shot he had fired from his barrette, so, okay, hold on. No, get out of here. Out of all my time playing this game, I've never had an exfil camper since, like, version 0.8, and we're on version 0.11. And even then, I only had 2 the entire time I've played this game, and all 700, yeah, don't make fun of me, man, hours of my gameplay. Was really hoping for another spoon moment, but got USP instead, and I didn't care about the USP, so off to extraction. You know, it was around this time that version 11.2.3 finally fixed headphones, so now I can get some lovely kills like this. I killed neither of them, but I see the bottom one scurry about, so let's do this. First off was an M16, that went as you could expect. Followed by a geared G3 with a nice head-on confrontation. I was very low. And to wrap it up, a nice headshot. Jump scare. Oh, yep, you thought we were playing a different map? No, we're playing Island. I spot this mysterious AK on the ground, investigate it. Then after sniping a scav, I realized all of their loot was down toward the rocks. Look, I wish I could be lying, but dead serious, nothing else happened that raid. Let's go to the next one.
Weirdly enough, there was so much, I felt like it would warranted a screenshot.
A lovely way to make any Tabor player's heart stop, introduce grenades into the mix. Yes, he did in fact kill himself. It seems like a recurring theme that just geared magically spawns. Like, I have no idea where these 2 massive kits came from. And you can sure bet that I packed it up and moved to the exfil. 2 players up on the roof. This tarp really should not have blocked this many shots. We traded somehow.
This is not fun. I don't like dealing with the fish. Because I don't want to hear that. It's not fun. I know they're going to follow me, but I'd rather just run.
For this long-range battle, I want to see if you can spot the guy I'm fighting. It's not all that hard. I know you saw that muzzle flash. Then I went to one of the map's high points and took some shots at some people. You can see them silhouetting out on the distance. And given enough time...
Ooh, got one.
From there I moseyed my way off to extraction. There's been this pretty badass guy just walking around with an SKS I've been hearing dot around that valley. Unfortunately, I have headphones.
He's done. No, the SKS man. Thank you, headphones, for keeping me alive, but this poor soul man. Oh no. No, look at him, dude. He's a menace. I'm thinking this was the guy who we saw on the hill.
All of the bags in his hands were from the guys I sniped up on the hill, so, yay. Great example of me ignoring the idea of cover. Some menaces up on the roof. I'm pretty out in the open. Yep. There we go. Next raid, I heard some scavs shooting outside, and man, the scene feels really familiar. I don't know. Guy with an AK Alpha and pretty good gear, just getting... I don't know. It's off with me. It's also funny how in both instances, the backpack just decided to enter the void. I killed cultists this raid. Do you want to see all the text boxes of the gunshots again? No, I say, you want to watch me get into a really cool gunfight, and then miss this grenade horribly. Wow. First man got blasted, second buddy... okay, nice. Now, this would have been some pretty good loot if it wasn't for a pretty fortunate shot to my neck.
Damn it.
I felt an eerie sense of being watched and then had a nice little gunfight back and forth with this man. Despite the Ronin, he was more so average geared. This vault was okay, but to prove my point about how bad vaults were, if you check the 11.2 patch notes, they literally had to release a statement saying, "We made vaults better." That kind of says it all. If you couldn't tell the pattern by now, I pretty much always hit a vault when this extraction right here is always open. Oh boy, then we had raid 84. I was happy with how I did, I just really wish I didn't die. Spoiler alert. I knew that guy I just killed had a buddy, and I was trying to get around for a better angle while finding out that there was in fact a third person in the question. Then reflanked to get the person I was initially trying to kill. Then I introduced this man's brain to some lead from an AWM I snagged from one of those guys. And after a frankly embarrassing amount of time trying to find this loot, I then had party number 4 get in the way. I was pretty upset. To kick off 85, a scav had vacated this building and was firing at it, meaning that there was a player inside. I'll let it play out, but then I hit a pretty smooth maneuver. I'm thankful for the absurd amount of drum mags they introduced into this raid, which then helped with this individual. I heard him lurking around for a long time prior. Then while trying to hear and find another person that, oh, you gotta be, come on, like, get out of my head, oh my god. When orange becomes an applicable escape route, you pretty much just go through and spend a lot more time looting since you have no incentive to really move or leave. You also always hope that they left some trinket for you, like this nice little Viger X, but it was pretty cleared out otherwise. It's time to bring Marcus back into some raids. This'll be fun. I'll break the immersion here for a second, just because I figured I should say this. Marcus has been working on a video the entire time I've made this video, and he's still to no avail. It's like Terraria, but he can't die on the hardest difficulty. Go support him, man. He's gonna need it. Like, he seriously has been working on that since, like, the Chodov Mall video. And I don't know when this video's getting out. And he probably still won't be done. Nothing else cool. Here's your obligatory extraction. Marcus threatened me. We saw and shot at an individual who went into the lighthouse. I really was not wanting to have the patience, and I didn't know how geared he was, so when I heard him brandish out his magazine, I just sent it. Marcus, I think, died to a mystery man. I found that mystery man, then thought it was a great idea to open fire. It was not. Headshot, really? Come on. Marcus enjoys sniping, the ambience, all of it. And so when we get out some sniper rifles and he's taking shots, dude, I can't even see where they are, and I know where to look. Despite those shots, I don't think Marcus eventually killed him, but I did manage to nab this guy who was trying to flank around us. Nice. Oh, and in this clip, I actually can see the individuals he was shooting at. Neither of us killed him, but I at least can point out where they are. Here you go. Then we hit a vault. Nothing was of interest except for this goofy-looking book. It sits in my vault to this day. You know, the essence of this game is making dumb decisions when you should have made smart ones, and I definitely did one by cracking that vault, because now we gotta go factory for the extraction. Yippee! And here we are. Did you really want to watch me walk? No, you didn't. Back out with the long-range rifles, and this one's gonna break a record. I do feel bad for this player I heard, and abysmally murdered inside of the condos, but no, that's nothing to do with the record. No, but here's where it is. Marcus had been marking a few players that had been running about for quite some time, so I nestled up with him and tried to find where they were. Here's your little arrow to see where I'm aiming. It's hard to see them. Something happened to Marcus and he was freaking out, but nothing truly happened to me at the moment, so I just sat and waited patiently for these people to go on the beach and took my shots. Very lovely. Alright, Marcus, how are you okay, that's... Probably shouldn't have put that banana peel there. Ironically enough, I had to then head to Lighthouse, and these guys' loot, well, okay, it wasn't fantastic, but it was enough, alright? If you're wondering about the actual record, that was about a little over 300-meter headshot. Well, okay, maybe not headshot, but you know what this clip does have? Quick scope. Oh lord, this man packed way- whoa, whoa. No clue why someone would bring Tatra gear to island, but thank goodness for his, look, let's just get this gear out of here. Of course, at this pivotal moment, my controller hand died. It uses batteries, and at that moment, the valley started to erupt in gunfire. Marcus died. I just had to get out of here. I'm also completely unsure as to how this guy did not see me. You can see him just running up the stairs right there, but works for me. Then I sat extremely still, not moving, to change my battery. Alright, we're back. Let's add a little bit of flavor to this next bit. Bang! Make it look easy. I refused to show you the walking simulator I then had to endure, because instead, I got to realize that my butt box was missing. I don't know why, it feels like a bug, but sometimes I'll just accidentally fling my butt box in the bunker somewhere, so now I gotta walk all the way to the beach. At least it's the closest possible extraction. I mean, hey, I got this flight recorder box, so I'm not gonna complain too much. Then while Marcus took a piss or food or something, I just got all my stuff ready for the screenshot you'll see in a moment. Never seen this before, haven't ya? I wouldn't exactly call it my best raid, but it was good. You're gonna watch the next several raids go by quick. Me and Marcus were going through to get an airdrop that someone had called down. I see some people on the hill thinking it's Marcus, and I'm like, oh, alright, well, he's probably just lagging behind a good bit. Marcus then told me that's not him on the hill. I didn't want to try and keep taking shots or staying out in the open, so it wasn't that great. I was doing my best, man. Marcus said his sniper was stuck in the ground. I don't know whether to call his bluff or not, but given his arms straining like that, it leaves me skeptical, to say the least. We made our way over to this hill by labs. We see an individual. We take one shot, miss, take a second, and he's down. Wonderful. Marcus then dies to a few snipers. I trace them to Watchtower over by the prison, but then I start to get shot out from another hill.
Get out of here. Holy moly. What a start.
I decided to bring in a gun with a lot of ammo for the next few raids just to have fun. Fun fact, did you know that sniper rifles deal less damage at close range? Trust me, there's a good handful of times where it goes like this, where despite hitting him...
well...
I don't think I have to point out that this is not Minecraft, so I don't know why when I crouch, it prevents me from going off the ledge of various structures. Raids like these, I tend to go, yeah, I had fun. It doesn't matter that I died, because I knew he had stronger gear, and I was probably taking a lot of damage, and I was, so when I tried to heal, I died, but it still was fun and enjoyable. What is not fun and enjoyable is getting sniped while trying to hold a position to watch over some gear. I was tired of losing kit after kit, so I just tried to be a little smarter, waiting until these guys were out in the open and then unleashing lead. Oh, alright, cool, gotta reload. Next round. Oh, okay, gotta reload again.
Nice, 2 kills.
Of course, you can't always have the greatest day in the world, and so when I move over to radio, try and get some kills.
Good frag, though, but I'm still upset.
That's usually how I feel about grenade kills. I have to admit, it always takes a good bit of skill to land, but that doesn't mean I don't like when I die to grenades. Keycard went off when I was over by labs, and it looked like it was cleaned out, but despite that, I was just happy enough to get out. I don't know why grenades do this weird double explosion thing. I mean, you saw it earlier, but... Look, I was getting pinned down by 2 really well-geared guys up on that roof. There's one, the other's on the opposite end. It wasn't going to be that great. The mere instant I had an opening, I took it, just sprinted on over to the roof, and sure enough, when I caught them by surprise...
1 down.
I did my best to wait for his buddy to show up, but he never did, either because he wanted to play careful after I got his other friend, or he just wasn't around, so I just grabbed the stuff and got out. You know, what's funny is that after all these orange cards, I actually realized I had used too many, and I was like almost out of orange cards. That might sound like a rich player problem, but at the end of the day, the looting update really just irritated me and a lot of others with the keycard change. Oh, yeah, if you didn't notice, we're on raid 100 already, too. So, I guess I might as well give my closing thoughts. You know, I find it almost poetic that Island, my favorite map, was the only map out of this series that I did not die on raid 100. I don't know if I'll keep making these 100 raid videos. I definitely have an idea cooking for the next Tabor video, and I'm not thinking it's going to be out for a while, but that's what I said last time, and look, things happen in life, alright? In terms of Island, it remains as my favorite map for a good reason. Players, new, old, weak, and strong, all pile together because it's just so plentiful for loot. You go to Matka for a lot of heavy combat, you go to Chodov because it's quick and fast loot, but Island's an experience that no other map can really replicate. I definitely would like to say that the new Island is better just because of a lot of fundamental design choices that made old Island really bad. Looting update I've given thoughts on, but overall it's just, there's no other experience like it, man. Go play Island, it's fun. I'd like to give all of you a big thank you for making this possible, and I'd like to thank my stream viewers for chiming in and helping me not lose my sanity on this map. Probably would have been better on the other maps, but I'm not going to complain. At the time of recording this, I have 82 rubber duckies, as you'll see on the after action reports. I have almost all my GPUs. Look, if I do get another video out, it's going to be a lot of flexing, so you ought to see that hopefully soon. The best way I could describe Island is like this. If I had to redo this video, it wouldn't even be me recording. I would just play 100 raids of this map for fun. It's just that enjoyable. And while I'm sure I'll try and get used to the other maps, this is definitely my favorite map for a reason. I'm fully going to admit that I'm cutting up the looting footage quite a lot. I don't really have too much else to say other than rest in peace the old radio hill. That was atrocious to take care of. There's nothing else that really happened, and I'm really hoping I made the video enjoyable to watch with the addition of, I guess, context. Not like the one you just saw, but I tried my best at making it fun and enjoyable. With that, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. It's been a fun time making it. Hope to see you guys around soon. Peace.